Hey cooks, I have something very, very special in the kitchen today. I don't really know exactly how to explain this. So if I'm a little awkward in explaining it, I just hope you'll understand because I'm very excited about this thing that I have. And I think that it's sort of maybe the second holy grail in the world of mixers. And I'm really, really excited about it. So I'm finally going to let you in on what this mixer is. I had it on the back counter a few times and some people were like, what is that? And I've been keeping it a secret. But I guess now it's time to reveal it. So join me and let's look at my mystery mixer. So Eric just called this my confession. And it is sort of a confession because you guys laugh at me because I have so many mixers because I love them. And if you are new to my channel, you'll see a video which is my confession. It's one of the very first videos that I ever made where I confessed about my love for kitchen gadgets and cookware. And if you've been with me all these years, you know that that obsession hasn't changed any way, shape, or form. If anything, it's even more now than it was in the past. So one day I was sort of bebopping around the internet as I usually do, looking at kitchen stuff and looking at forums and all that fun stuff. And someone had mentioned some website similar to Craigslist or something where people post things that they want to sell. So it's not Facebook Marketplace, it's something like called OfferUp or something like that. So I went in there just for giggles, right? Just for giggles. And I typed in the word mixer, just for giggles, right? Right, Eric?
Sure.
And something came up that absolutely lit me into crazy zone, right? So a lot of people feel like there's two KitchenAids. And KitchenAid started out as a company called Hobart. And Hobart was their commercial division. And they developed a line of mixers for the home cook, and they called it the KitchenAid. So they made two lines. They made a commercial Hobart, and they made a KitchenAid. Well, at some point, Hobart wanted to focus on their commercial line, so they sold off their home line. They sold KitchenAid, unfortunately for them, to another company. And so you had KitchenAid and Hobart's, who are sister mixers that went their separate ways. And a lot of people think that the original Hobart KitchenAids are of a significantly higher quality than the current ones made because they weren't quite as mass produced as they are now. And they weren't trying to necessarily stick to this low price point and all this stuff that has sort of resulted in the KitchenAid people thinking that it's not as good as it was. So you can either get a flat out Hobart, you can buy a KitchenAid Hobart, you can buy a KitchenAid sort of legacy Hobart mixer that was continued to be made by KitchenAid after Hobart purchased or after Hobart sold KitchenAid to another company. So there's a number of years that people say that these are, even though they are part of when KitchenAid was broken off from Hobart, there was a legacy of quality that went with that. So a lot of people that are mixer freaks like I am sort of talk about these mixers that are Hobart KitchenAids. And a lot of people feel like that's like the sweet spot of getting a KitchenAid, either when it was a Hobart or when it was a KitchenAid Hobart Legacy, right? Okay, so some of the people who are big time KitchenAid fans, they want a Hobart KitchenAid. And the thing is, right now, Hobart is making mixers for the commercial industry. So you'll see a Hobart and they're like these monsters, right? They're like cement mixers. They're $15,000. They can do like 6,000 pounds of dough at a time, right? These things are monsters and they're not really made for or feasible to use them in the home kitchen. They do make one line of countertop mixer called the N50. And a lot of people that are used to using KitchenAids, but they're looking for more, will go after an N50. N50s are sort of like, woo, right? They're very expensive. They're about $2,000, $2,500, I think. But they're very industrial. They're not pretty colors. They're just flat out gray. They don't have the same kind of transmission or whatever in them. So when you go between speeds, you have to shut the thing off, change the speeds, and turn it back on, because it's not built for, it's built for the commercial industry. So when I was on this OfferUp, the first thing I saw is someone had a Hobart, a countertop Hobart. And I was like, wow, an N50, right? And I looked at it and I was like, that is the weirdest N50 I ever seen. It doesn't look like anything I have ever seen before. So I emailed the seller and I was like, what model Hobart is this? So the seller didn't know much about the mixer. All she knew is she got it from a friend. She purchased it from a friend and she'd had it for a couple years and she really didn't bake that much. But all she said it is an HL6. I was like, HL6? I never heard of that before. So I Googled it to try to figure out where this model is. And I found some interesting information that sort of goes along with the story of where she got it from. So there was a time that Hobart was considering replacing the N50. And so they created a prototype run of a mixer called an HL6. And their intention was that the HL6 would replace or be in addition to, I don't know, I heard that it was going to replace the N50. And one great thing about it is they put like a speed control thing on there so you don't have to shut it off. It's more like a traditional KitchenAid in that you can change the speeds without turning the mixer off. So they did a prototype of this mixer and they did one run of it. And the problem is when that run of it was done, what happened was the recession hit. And they figured that they wouldn't be able to sell them because the price would be, in the mid-2000s. And because of the recession, it would be kind of difficult for them to sell them. So Hobart scrapped the plan, but they had one run of mixers that they had manufactured. So what they did is, rumor has it that they gave them away to employees. Either employees got them for free or they got them at a low cost. So there was only a small amount of these mixers made and they were given away to employees. So what I have in the Amy Learns to Kitchen is a Hobart HL6 prototype mixer from Hobart, and it was made in Sweden, which is kind of interesting because rumor has it that it was made by Ankersrum. I think Ankersrum makes a lot of parts for a lot of different mixer companies, but because I think they make some stuff at Kenwood. But all this I got from forums, and I got people saying, ooh, I wish I could get an HL6. And when I got the mixer, it sort of was supported by what she said. Because when I tried to call Hobart, they were like, we don't know anything about that model. There's nothing in the books. There's absolutely nothing. That model doesn't exist as far as they're concerned. But it sort of came full circle when I showed up to buy it, because I asked her where she got it from, and she said she bought it from a friend of hers who worked for Hobart. So this mixer is not quite a one of a kind, but it is almost a one of a kind. It's It's unbelievable that I have this thing in the kitchen.
It's kind of like the Men in Black. They exist, but they don't.
Yes, it exists, but they don't. One concern about me is if something, you know, if like the bowl breaks or the beater breaks or something like that, I pretty much can't get another one. They don't make them. There's no way to get them. I'm sure I could find a Hobart repair place that could work on the guts of it, because I'm sure the guts of it aren't too much different from their other one. They're very, you know, commercial type. They probably can even fabricate something for me to get that mixer going. But in terms of getting a bowl and stuff, I don't know. I might be out of luck. I'm not sure if the N50 will fit on it.
Do you have any beaters?
Yeah, scraper beaters, no. Fancy attachments, no. A hub, no. As a matter of fact, the thing is pretty daggone ugly looking, but I'm so happy to have it. So let's get it out. So here it is, guys. This is the Hobart HL6. It was intended to either complement or replace the N50. And I can't believe I have this mixer in-house. It does have a hub on here. I've never tried any of the KitchenAid attachments on here. I'm gonna see if they fit. I have no idea. Probably the same as the N50. If the N50 uses the KitchenAid attachments, this one probably will. Look at this baby. This is a Hobart. I paid $200 for it. $200. This mixer probably would retail originally for about $2,500. I paid $200 for it. And it is a very rare and very unique mixer. So it's 6-quart. It is actually, I don't know how many watts it has. It just says that it's like 2.5 amps. The voltage is 120. It doesn't really say anything about, you know, the specs on it. It's made in Sweden. It is our...
So if you're worried about watts,
yeah.
Amps times voltage is going to be equal to your watts. So take 120 times the 2 point whatever,
Yeah.
and that's going to get you your watts. So what is it, 2.6, 2.5?
2.5.
Okay. This is only a 300 watt. I can't believe this is heavy and it's only 300 watts. Oh my gosh. Is electrical engineering thrown out the door? Or has KitchenAid been lying about this? Well, that's a sharp word. Have they been colorfully describing how many watts their thingies are? But I think this is a 1.6 horsepower motor, which I think is similar to what the N50 has. So I think this would handle the same amount of, you know, batter, dough, whatever you want to put in here, other than the fiscal size a little higher. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Eric was an electrician, right? So this is our little baby. And let me tell you, this thing is loud and it's squeaky and it has a high-pitched sound and it rattles around. And I think maybe the little the feet on it are uneven, so it'll rattle. We're gonna try to get something for the bottom made for the feet to help with that situation. But see how it rattles around? It's very uneven, the feet, so I'm going to have to get something to fix that. Has a little jog. So this is the paddle on this sucker. Look at the size of that thing. That's our paddle, and look at the shape of it. That is amazing, right? Here is our dough hook. These things are heavy. And this is our whip.
Look, Bo. No suction cups.
No suction cups. So this has a variable speed on it. This is not like your N50 that you have to turn off every time you want to change speeds. It has a speed control on it. It's very squeaky. Like it has a high-pitched squeaky sound. It's not a glamorous mixer, but it will throw down. I mean, look at that. Look at the paddle on that sucker. You think that can mix your cake? This thing doesn't play around. It's god awful sounding. But you know what? This is a different kind of mixer. This is a commercial mixer, and wow, I'm loving it.
So if they say 14 cups of flour.
How many? Well, I mean, the limitation of this is just it's a 6-quart bowl. This is not a Hobart that has a 20-quart bowl on it. So
No, but I mean, if they don't want a 20-pound dough ball in there, then they don't want a 20-pound dough ball in there.
yeah.
You know?
But I think you could do a nice heavy wheat dough in here. I think it could handle it.
I don't think you have to worry.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
If it fits, it mixes.
Yeah. Cement mixer, right? We're going to try this baby out. It does have a little bit of... I like it. So we're going to see what Hobart can do. I can't say that, 100% necessarily this is going to be exactly the same as the way an N50 would perform, but I would say it's probably similar. So if you were ever thinking about an N50, this is going to be a good test on what Hobart has in it, right? So stay tuned for the full test and review of the Hobart HL6.
All right, viewers, what kind of tests do you want to see?
Yeah, what do you want to see? Go ahead and leave a comment down in the description about how you want me to... I wanted to do a flat out regular test and review on this, but what would you put this mixer against?
Oh, I don't know, your 8?
Yeah, oh yeah, we can put it against the commercial 8 KitchenAid. Let's do Papa versus baby, right? KitchenAid is Hobart's little baby. We can put that commercial 8 up against the HL6.
Big Red versus Hindenburg.
Yep, the Hindenburg. So stay tuned for that. Looking forward to it. If you like this video, please subscribe below, leave me a comment and a like, and visit my website at amylearnstocook.com. I'm also on Facebook at facebook.com/amylearnstocook. We have a great group in there. Go ahead and send me a request and join the conversation. We have a lot of fun in there about cooking, kitchen gadgets, cookware, appliances, everything you can think of. We have a great time. I'm also on Pinterest and Twitter at Amy Learns to Cook, and on Instagram, I'm at Cooking with Amy. Hobart. And we're checking for sound. Do we have sound, Moo?
Maybe.
Okay. Now that was funny.